Hey everybody, it's the last Robo Kai here, and it's time for more Fate Samurai Remnant. Last time, Kaya was kidnapped, and our attempts to locate Chiemon at his old haunt, as he is the kidnapper, unfortunately did not bear fruit, which puts Iori and Saber back at square one. We do have a few more places we can try, and a few more people we can talk to, and on our way back, we're going to encounter a caster. So, joining me is Cool Guy.
Oh god. I had figured you were burying the lead on, boy, it sure would be cool to meet a caster, but I wasn't expecting it to be quite so soon.
This isn't going to be a very long encounter, and this character is not going to play much of a part of things in our current run. So we're basically just going to get to eyeball a character and then not see them for a while, and then eyeball them again, and then just never see them till like New Game Plus. So it's not really that important. Like the other caster, however, is going to be way worse, and I really look forward to your fucking arteries exploding when we encounter that character this chapter. So let's get stuck straight in.
Speaking of threatening things to start off an episode with.
Yes, we're at Kachimachi, if I'm remembering its name correctly, or I've just said it completely incorrectly. But, yeah, on our way home, a digression popped up, and here we are.
Never mind. I've already yelled at you once for like this exact name, so like I'm just gonna hold my tongue this time.
Oh, hitchy bitchy. Damn, that man drunk.
Frickin'. I've been like one of the things I've been doing, just for those at home, to control my stammering problem, is do yoga right before these things, and I'm now having to do some fucking yogic breathing just to not yell at Robokai again.
God, imagine you're just trying to find your sister, and like a bunch of shady omyoji just turn up and it's like, hey, let's fight. And they stick their damn ghost foxes on you.
Those are definitely some interesting looking ghost foxes too, like playing Pokemon with Vulpix over here. No one seems willing to. I frickin' wonder why, bro. You just kicked everybody's ass.
They definitely hit the I don't want to deal with this button.
Nobody cares. This is a motel. Nobody's here because their lives are going so well they can afford to get wrapped up in yours. Oh, good.
そんなことをいちいち尋ねるな。陰陽の術ならば、お前の方が詳しい。
私の腕は兄に遠く及びません。万が一にもこの術式に不備があれば、兄や父祖たちに何と申し開きをすればよいか。
殊勝なことだ。お前たちの望みが何であろうと、僕にとってはどうでもいいが、余計な面倒ごとには巻き込まないでほしいもの。
You should eat a burger, by the way.
Yes, the famous Japanese burgers of the Edo period.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there is something suitably fatty and bulky that rail-thin homie over here could get his hands on.
You can get a cup of coffee at the non-bun quarter. It's not even a joke. That's like that's one of that's what the food vendor there sells, coffee.
I'm with it. You know, like that makes a fair bit of sense because like where the European traders would have been picking up the coffee is actually closer to Edo than it would be, you know, back in Europe.
まあいい。僕は帰らせてもらおう。
セイバー、宮本伊織殿、どうかご覚悟を。
Alright, so the servant left, and left the Omyoji to fight instead. and and the Omnyoji keeps referencing his brother. He has a very familiar design hanging over his face, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I also couldn't help but notice the servant dropped the rather huge hint that he's not actually that good at Onmyoji magic. Which,
Yeah.
if they're a caster and they're in Japan, you know, like if they were natively Japanese, they would almost certainly be a very formidable Onmyoji mage. So,
Well, see, this is where I get to talk about casters and how that's not necessarily true.
all right, sure, let's do that.
Because you see, the fun thing about the entire concept of the people inscribed in the Throne of Heroes, they aren't necessarily all the kinds. They're people who left a mark on history, but not everyone who left a mark on history did so with with like martial feats or heroism. There are people who wrote amazing stories or, performed incredible non-violent feats. You talk about people like William Shakespeare. You talk about people like Hans Christian Andersen. These are people who have left an indelible mark on history, and so they're marked on the Throne of Heroes. But they aren't people that you could conceivably expect to fight in a Holy Grail war. But what if they got put in? They would most likely end up in, and in the case of those two particular people I mentioned, they would end up as casters, which gives them the ability to very specifically use their power, like the thing that they were known for, in a sort of a pseudo spellcasting sort of way. Like their very essence, their noble phantasms are based upon those things and allow them to do something that would be like magecraft, but not actually be magecraft. Like Shakespeare can create things and can, to a degree, alter reality, but he will only do so if he thinks it's particularly, good storytelling to do so.
Dramatic or funny.
そうは命、そうは開闢の雫にして星をなすもの。絶技、発揮、怒涛。
So yeah, so casters range into a fairly wide degree between famous spellcasters of history, like say Merlin, the famous court wizard of the Knights of the Round Table, and of course he is a servant and he is a shitlord. And then there's but then there are others. So it's entirely possible that this caster could be somebody who in Japanese history was not a caster of any particular Omnyoji or anything like that. They could have been someone who performed some other function.
It could have been like more like just as an example to make sure I understand. It could have ostensibly been the legendary swordsmith Muramasa or something, right?
Yeah, it could be something like Muramasa. Although
Okay,
Muramasa
alright.
is in Fate Grand Order, and interestingly enough, he is a saber, but that is for a very specific
I mean,
reason, which
yeah,
I can
but-
get into.
Also, he's a swordsmith. You know what?
Yeah.
Like, give somebody a break. But at least I'm vibing with the concept here.
Yeah. Basically, the abilities that are related to them. Like, I would say caster is probably the one with the hugest variance. Like, I joked about how archers are weird as fuck, but casters, the breadth of casters is incredibly wide as a result. You'll get people like Charles Babbage, the forefather of computers, as he's often referred to as, albeit as a giant steam robot, but he still exists as a caster. There's Paracelsus, the alchemist. There is
I am just imagining how a Holy Grail war would go down if Paracelsus shows up as a rogue caster. Like it never actually ends because Paracelsus keeps showing up, yelling at everybody to stop beating the shit out of each other, heals everybody, and leaves.
Well, it's kind of funny, actually, because Paracelsus does appear in Fate Prototype, which was kind of what Fate Stay Night was originally going to be as an idea, but then was, like, tossed out, so they made Fate Stay Night. And they have gone back and sort of, like, fully fleshed out what they were going to do with that, but they haven't really, like, done anything too major. That was, like, back when, like, they actually had King Arthur as a male King Arthur, so there's, like, there is like a version of King Arthur that is actually a dude. And here's Musashi telling us about how she actually ended up coming to hang out with us. To come fight against Assassin and all of that.
Goes, okay, so this is kind of a long story, actually.
天意無法の女侍と極の偉人二柱の守護者を擁する吉原の町は義の喧騒広がる江戸にあっても常と変わらぬ平穏な様子を
Boy, she really wasn't paying attention when Iori said make it quick, huh?
It's Berserker.
吉原を探る不届き者ありといういおりのことづてが届けられる。
Oh my god, hurry it up, honey. You're killing me slowly.
So, we all remember this bit, and they've even got like the old-timey film effect over the flashback, which I love.
お疲れ様、バーサーカー殿。
And an echo in her voice.
ゆっくり休んでちょうだい。
Because it's not drilled home enough. At some point, the game director was just having fun with this.
Oh, absolutely.
随分と大胆に出てきたものね。やるじゃない。念のため。
So yeah, so generally speaking, when I just talk about casters, like one of the big things about a caster class is generally they're not for like straight up confrontation. They are like assassin. They function best playing the long game, whereas assassins like wants to sneak up and kill a target. Caster generally hinges on a lot of setup. You're going to want to set up, you know, a magical region similar to how a mage might. You're going to want to set things up that play to your particular strengths as like with a caster. You know, it's and it really just like it could be a total crapshoot because your caster could be absolutely 100% not suited at all for a Holy Grail war. They might have one gimmick, one shot at actually turning all of these things into your favor. If you don't get that very like specific circumstance, you are in so much trouble.
Ironically, this kind of, like the way you're describing casters in that way kind of makes me think of them as like one of the more original interpretations of Batman, whereas you know Batman really was only effective because he had an immense amount of resources to evaluate, prepare, and be ready for anything that his various rogues gallery could throw at him.
Basically, prep time is prep time is very important. But he had like a supercomputer and a cave full of resources and access to the police department and things
Being
like
a
that.
billionaire is in itself
yeah.
a superpower, right?
True.
You know, like whatever. that would be hilarious because now we've raised the specter of Batman showing up as a caster, and his actual power is just power of money.
Hey, it could be.
Might just be broke. Okay.
Yeah, so Musashi's going to do a bit of investigating. Reminder: she is a berserker.
So she's like basically she's gonna make a huge mess of it because she goes 5 minutes without killing something and starts getting all buggo. It's like the shittier seasons of Dexter.
Well, I wouldn't say that much, but she's certainly not going to be subtle about it.
I guess she'll be tamping down on her urge to kill by just petting all of the cute animals.
誤解だぜ。俺はただ見回りをしてるだけで。
Fucking Sukadoshin.
はーい、お話は自信版の方で聞きます。さあ男衆、連れてってあげなさい。
Book 'em, Dano!
待ってくれ。俺は同心なんだ。
Sukadoshin just dragged away. I thought this was America!
She just does not give the slightest fuck.
She's looking for people causing problems.
Description applies to all of my customers. Okay, well, At least you're honest about this.
Mm-hmm.
そっちの路地でかくれんぼしてる人がいたよ。誰から隠れてるのかな。
I like that guy's swagger. He's got a katana on his side, you know, most people would walk sort of, you know, in a more appropriate way. That dude was just like big arm flails.
Practically swaying his hips to like more than he would swing his sword.
He was probably post-visit.
Visual storytelling.
ねえ、中店に店を出してるあそこの旦那、もののけにあって寝込んじゃったみたいよ。
バカバカしい。どうせ遊女にかまけて寝ぼけてたんだろう。
I love the goon squad in the background over there.
どうかしらね。そんな人には見えなかったけど。
Looks like all of them have heels in sky. So they're Eastern spies?
そこの怪しいお兄さん、裏路地で何をやってるのかしら。
うわっ、脅かすなよ。借金取りから隠れてるんだ。あっち行けって。見つかったらお前に払ってもらうぞ。
How pray tell are you intending to do that?
Yeah, I say that to people with giant swords.
お探しの人、ここにいるわよ。
ああ、なんて。
And then she just leaves again.
I'm not sure exactly how you thought that was gonna turn out for you, brother. Like...
お利口さん。
Just Masashi, best character.
Yeah, no, I would... Masashi seems like the sort of person that if I ran into her in real life, I would be constantly tearing my hair out. Like, she is everything that I'm not in terms of, you know, being methodical, careful, observant, all like that. But in this situation, she is the most entertaining person to watch, and I would not have it any other way.
It's like, oh no, the cast is in danger, there's a fight. Masashi just fucking, like, tears up running. It's like when he has the swords out going, yes! Yes! And, anyway, like, you'll get to, like, live vicariously through, you know, Zhang and Zhou, because they're the ones who are putting up with her at the moment in the story.
Oh, fantastic.
Didn't mean to interrupt that conversation, it was just like, what? She has more dialogue? What the fuck?
Sure, why not? I can just imagine Zhou Yu is kind of a stand-in for me in this particular game. Like, that was always kind of his characterization in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms novelizations and so forth. He's a very, very careful and particular character.
I ran off without, like, fully talking to her as well, so I was like, okay, I'll get the full thing since I interrupted my dialogue.
Well, alright.
Up to the important dialogue. Wait.
That is required.
Yep, full health.
Honestly, like, getting distracted by a cute cat when she's supposed to be running off urgently is also an incredibly Femme Musashi sort of thing to do, so I'm fine with it.
吉原に現れた巨漢。奴はサーバントだ。はぐれですか。あるいはマスター持ち。
I mean, yes?
マスター持ちだ。奴は高尾太夫に従っている素振りがある。高尾太夫は高名な遊女ではあるが、その正体、魔術師であったと考えるべきだろう。いずれの家系の魔術師なのでしょう。時計塔と関わりのある日の本の魔術師であれば、およそ我らも把握しているはずです。不明だ。時計塔と縁なき在野の術者か。
Boy, they're saying an awful lot right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's something that you probably, as a player, would speculate about the, you know, Dayu as well, because
yeah, this is very much a voice of the player sort of moment. They're just being very loose-lipped around there. A fucking grin.
総員迎撃態勢急げ
この私を知らないとはどうやら調べが足りないようね。
Too busy putting their eyes on Rogue Berserker, not enough time seeing the fairly unlikely scene of a woman walking around this kind of an area with like fucking very well made looking katanas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, who is this person? Magical energy detected. If it took you that long to realize that she was a servant, like, you've got problems with your eyes.
なるほどね。
Nothing else, like, just the fineness of her clothing marks her off here. Idiot. Just like 5 dudes over here slowly shuffling around with muskets. Take a knee, assholes.
Like I said, if we were on a harder difficulty mode, they'd probably fire those guns a lot more often. I'm like, hold on a second, I gotta like laser beam these guys.
There you go. Worth it.
Just an important part of being a Saber is being able to throw a laser beam, apparently.
She's a berserker, though.
True, but she is typically a Saber.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like it frickin' matters. Like, I'm starting to get a sense of how individual servants are characterized to some extent, and she's absolutely a hybrid of sorts. Do you mind?
撤退総員撤退だ
ああもう追いかけたいとこだけど街がめちゃくちゃよね。
Another incredible face from our favorite Musashi.
いいと言えばいいのだけどでも
I couldn't care less, except for the part where I do care.
As a berserker, the madness enhancement on her would probably just make her more battle happy, but she can't help herself. She's still a softie at heart.
She's even aware of some of the other times that she's been a Saber. That is fantastic.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, she is a unlike a lot of other servants who, you know, when their time is done or whenever what happens finishes, they go back to the throne. Musashi has been on one long journey. She being teleported across different worlds. She doesn't get unsummoned. She gets sent somewhere else. So, like, she is like one, like, there's only one of her. And she's just been on one long journey.
So she's basically got, like, the actual sweet deal on all of this. Like, she's functionally immortal after her death, and she just keeps having fun in a million different, completely distinct but interesting situations forever.
Yep.
I'm jealous as hell.
Well, it's an interesting story, the story of Musashi in Fate, and it does have an ending.
Uh-huh. I will not inquire further. I will, like, if everybody at home is waiting for me to ask, I will not be inquiring further. Well, we know as players, but I'm actually not clear on if Musashi would know about that.
おかえり、武蔵ちゃん。大立ち回りをやったって聞いたけど、大事ないかい？
ま、大した相手じゃなかったわ。関東風うどんの方がまだ歯ごたえありました。だからね、さぬきのいえいいわ。
No, please keep talking about udon. I'm actually really interested in this, and I'm not being sarcastic.
Good news, our opponents are ill-informed and terrorized.
その情報を求めて躍起になっちゃってまあ。
私が吉原の元締めかい？もう笑わせてくれちゃって。元締めね。本当にそうならいいのにさ。 私が元締めやれてりゃもうちょっとは吉原をマシにしてるよ。区外なんて呼ばれないくらいにね。
Uncomfortable subjects dot text.
となると向こうさん
Oh,
は
absolutely.
江戸の出じゃないね。ああ、日の本の出ですらないかもね。
I mean, Musashi absolutely could confirm that for you, but she's not gonna.
デジモン
さすがにそいつは遠すぎる
Are you
ね。
fucking kidding me?
ああ、
Homegirl.
武蔵ちゃんは知らないか。近頃ね、お上が南蛮船が入んのを
Like, seriously, you looked at them. They were white. They were fucking white.
Well, I think she meant more those were places where like foreign ships were allowed to hop off a
ち
train.
ょっとした遠出になりそうね。
And obviously, this ship being allowed in, this has happened after, you know, she would have likely begun her teleporting journeys, and it's also post the Musashi of this era perishing, so fuck, we just wouldn't know about this sort of thing.
というわけで笑いあり涙あり手に汗握る冒険活劇があったわけです。
It was neither of those things, but okay. Okay, thank you, Iori.
You live vicariously through it.
Like speaking of people who constantly act like me, Iori Miyamoto.
そういうことだったのだな。
And we get a reward for sitting through
Alpha
her
and
story.
Omega. There's an impactful name.
They're not even that strong. Anyway, back home. Things didn't go as planned.
Just motoring past that.
There's a lot to get through today's episode.
I'm sorry, I still can't hear that cock crowing thing without having my nerves seize up. Because I imagine that a bunch of chickens are about to attack.
テイ、もしやそちらで何かあったか。
さすが勘がいいな。ここはまあなんといったものか。
わあ、これもしかしてイオリくん？ほうほう。
Oh lord.
テイさんたらこんな便利な霊装を持っていたのね。
Why is that still question marks? Okay, great.
せっかくだし。
Like seriously, I picked up on her voice by the third word.
It'd probably be more surprising if we hadn't just literally done a digression the day before, but you know.
I would still be able to recognize her voice.
さすがバーサーカーの霊気で限界した人物だけはある。言うほど正気を失ってはいないと思いきや、そうでもないことを思い知らされた。旅慣れているというかなんというか、遠慮のないこと甚だしい。丼飯をかっくらって釜3つを空にし、その上うどんはないかと告げるものだから。なんともうちのクリアはてんてこまいだ。
I mean, you probably also like donburi is fucking delicious, so you know, I'm with her on this.
ワンよりも大きな器だ。米がより多く入る。
おお。
Yeah, Saber's with it too.
凄まじい体色ぶり。晩年の師匠の様子からは想像し。
Look, she's clearly burning those calories, buddy. Don't judge.
そちらの師匠は年若い。あり得る話だ。
しかし、笑えるのはここまでだ。宣告など、幾度となく爆心の前に出ようと。
Knocking at the door. Hello, are you in a conspiracy?
ちょっとばかり勢いがついちゃってたかしら。
Go men, while she is not sorry at all.
ついつい気がせいちゃうのは仕方ないでしょ。
あのまま放っておけば、江戸市中で少なからず人死にが出ていたぞ。
師匠。
大丈夫大丈夫、まだやってないから。
Yes, ないから。
ともかくだ、より。一度、そちらの成果を聞かせてほしい。小石川の捜索はどうだった？妹子は見つかったか？
Not even close.
いや。
We found his diary. It was cringe. And on fire.
We're gonna publish it on LiveJournal because that's where it belongs. We're gonna hope that the cringe brings him to us.
ランサーのマスターが使っていたものだ。
拠点か。
だが大半のものが持ち去られていた。残されたのはガラクタばかり。もう小石川には戻らんのかもしれん。少なくとも当面はな。
そっか。残念。
And yeah, Chiemon never returns there.
今のところ幕府側に目立つ動きはないが、手の者が2つ情報を掴んできた。
ほほ。
紅玉王はそばにいるな。沖縄、すまんが江戸の地図を出せるか。
Venerable Crimson Codex.
仕方がないの。
Talk about a way to get Gramps to do what you want.
一つ目は正気を失った侍たちが轟方面に向かっていったというもの。
First of all, let's double check to make sure that the crazed samurai wasn't Musashi.
She's here. She's right here. It's okay.
Yeah, and that could have been yesterday.
There was more than one of them, so.
Okay.
And she definitely doesn't know any jutsu of that kind.
Kage Bunshin no Jutsu from Musashi. All right, noted.
アサシンとライダーの同盟も考えられる。
So we've got this thing going on here where we get a choice of where to go, and I do kind of understand that this is sort of part of making the New Game Plus run a little less arduous to get, like, by having at least two different sections where you have a different choice of where to go with different sort of outcomes for things to unlock and things like that. But your choice is to chase after the people involved with Yu Shisetsu, or to chase after the people involved with Assassin. But the reasoning for chasing after Assassin just doesn't really feel like it works, because they're like, oh, we can assume Ryder and Assassin might be working together. It's like, well, no, Ryder quite clearly, like, went for Assassin and stole Assassin's shit. So, like, I don't think they're the ones who are responsible.
And they would both know that, because Ryder did that to Assassin in their view.
The assumption that Lancer and Assassin could be working together would be a cleverer one, but they don't really have anything to go on with that. And so, like, as the player, you know that Chiemon and Yu Shisetsu are working together, so it's kind of a bit of a problem. They've narratively created a smart path and a stupid path, just for the from the player's perspective. I'm going to be doing it a specific way because it unlocks specific things, and then on New Game Plus I'll do it the other way because that'll unlock other specific sort of digressions and other stuff, and that'll more or less 100% the game.
Oh, like to a certain extent, willfully being stupid in situations like this is also a bit of a storytelling fiat for characters like Iori. Like, Iori is supposed to be like the well-meaning little goof who makes all sorts of mistakes, but still succeeds in the end because he's a well-meaning goof.
By that same token, like, even Iori has already figured out that the whole thing with Kaya being kidnapped is not what it seems.
Yeah, like that's kind of the issue with us saying that, or with me saying that, is that Iori is well-meaning, but he has proven many times throughout this entire game he is not an idiot. Like he's actually really quite bright, and he just doesn't necessarily show it that often because he's rather taciturn. Like, he just doesn't say it out loud every time he's figured something out.
So we're going to be spending a little bit of time on the spirit front to head towards our next objective. And really, I should have changed to a different backup server at this juncture, but you know how it is. Really should have spent some more time with Rogue Berserker.
That would have been hilarious. That would have been absolutely hysterical. Just bringing out actual Samson in the middle of all of this. That would have been great. Oh well, like we'll really be worried about it the day it matters in terms of difficulty.
Let's go up and grab ourselves a Wayno. Get some
Gotta
extra
do it
movement.
for your stoned pest waifu.
Oh, it's very important to, you know, get all those extra movements. You can definitely probably do it a lot faster, but being able to move twice every turn is too powerful, too goddamn powerful.
Yep, you are not wrong. Everything that you said is absolutely correct. Also, your stoned pest waifu. It's the same dynamic I mentioned, but of like 7, 8, whatever it was episodes ago. But of like, she pisses me off. Arya pisses me off, but also she's so genuinely earnest and helpful that I can't stay mad at her for more than a few seconds.
They understood that a character like that definitely relies on give and take.
Yeah.
And I've been promising Cool Guy that the other caster character we're going to meet is, like, the instant he knows who this is definitely going to make his head, like, fly off and spin around.
I'm regretting not drinking more heavily, because I've been working with you for a very long time, and I have never, at any point, known you to make idle threats. That is just not
That's
something
a wonderful description.
that you do.
Just thinking about where to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure you didn't need to go there.
It's gonna make sort of capturing that other area a lot easier.
Yeah, it sort of made sense to go there insofar as you were attempting to bait out the soldiers so you didn't get cut off. I probably would have been more aggressive there, and it's entirely likely that I would have paid for my hubris, because a lot of these sorts of turn-based strategy situations, I tend to play pretty aggressively. Fortune favors the bold and all that. I say with one of the most notoriously terrible streaks of luck known to the internet. Are we good? Alright, here we are.
So look how much damage we do to the monsters now in heavy stance. Just such a fire stance. Just such a really good, like, power.
Fire stance just owns.
And it's not even the most powerful stance. Like, that's what's so wild about this.
Yeah, that's restricted for Saikyo style, or whatever the hell Dan's style was. That would make me laugh all day and night. The strongest stance was actually just the bullcrap joke stance Dan of Street Fighter. That would, of course, cause ridiculous numbers of lawsuits, but, whatever.
Just taunt, idiot.
Just taunt. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you're about to cut that asshole off. See you later, hater.
And even better, we linked up with Saber so we could just rejoin together again.
Yep, that was... Hollywood couldn't have planned that better.
I remember thinking at the time, boy, this thing I did accidentally is going to look really smart when it shows up in the Let's Play. I better give it a couple seconds so everyone thinks I actually meant to do it. and then admit I didn't.
Then admit that was blind luck, because
I know
when
that
we're
upsets
talking
people
about
more.
people who have terrible luck versus versus great luck, like, we could not be any more of two sides of different coins, as it were. I'm the cursed penny, and you're the lucky quarter.
Oh dear.
Seriously,
It just feels like I should like insert a drum roll in every fucking time.
Yeah, seriously, like homeboy just sort of hanging out there, and I'm just like you are not as clever as you think you are.
Yeah, I've done some upgrading of Iori off screen as well. I can't remember when I actually got the extra noble phantasm bar there, the extra like valor attack bar, but
oh, huh?
Yeah,
Right, you do have it though, don't you? I literally just now noticed this.
Yeah, like I think I might have done that like between, because I do a lot of like upgrading between as well, because like so I have shown off, like generally speaking, like I have sort of like shown off what all the powers are by looking at them, just in case I like sort of upgrade it along the way. Can't say I've ever really gotten any spells or anything that were really good off camera, so it's all good.
I mean, it is a very normal thing to do boring menuing and so forth off camera. I don't think anybody's going to gig you for that. All right, down you go, head boy.
So long, Oni.
So long, Gabe Bowser. Wait. Wrong thing.
さあどんどん行くのじゃぞ。
何かあるな。
It is important to note you do need Saber in your, like, alongside you when you visit the little notable places as well.
この辺り、江戸市中とは景色が違うな。
大木戸の関所を越えたろ。ここはもう江戸ではないぞ。
Oh ho!
Yeah, technically we're outside the city limits.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, as it were.
おお、残らず抑えたか。この地の魔力は。
I mean, there's literally nothing else on the field. It would have simply been negligence to not get everything.
Yep, I did do a little bit of leveling up, and yeah. Also, a lot of off-screen leveling up of a couple of characters.
Yeah, no
as
joke.
well.
They're like, that is looking a lot more filled in. Sorry, the duality between Arya's stoned-ass look and Lancer's smug-ass grin will never fail to amuse me.
Yeah. Is it really bad to mention at this point? I also just looked and went, wait a minute. I looked behind like the skill trees and realized their constellations shaped like their class.
Is it? I completely missed that.
I didn't. I like literally just now. I was like, oh wait a minute. That's the horse shape for Ryder. Yeah, guys. 19 episodes in, I've beaten this game once already. I've played through and beaten the game a second time recording this.
There is some game designer out there who is patting themselves on the head.
あそこ、誰か倒れているぞ。
So he is a new zone.
He's just drunk.
Yeah. With his sword in the air.
党の元に命を絶っている。
Oh, he's dead. Never mind.
Oh. Same difference. Drunk, dead.
正気を失った侍の仕業か。あるいはこの死人こそが九段の侍であったのか。だ。
魔力の残滓を感じる。
They keep talking about crazed samurai and eventually getting struck down, and I can't help but think of my various runs of Way of the Samurai, when, you know, one time I just decide I'm just gonna kill as many people as possible. And I just go do that. I just, like murder motherfuckers for, like, 15 minutes until somebody finally takes me down.
Way of the Samurai, too, actually had an entire, thing where if you pissed off, like, the townspeople enough, like, the regular townspeople, which I did by killing, like, a particular character who had a really unique set of, like, dual swords, which were really, really cool, so I grabbed those. And, oh, yep, Crazy Samurai, here we go.
Yeah.
But, if you did that, you could get back into their good graces by taking part in the 100 Samurai Challenge.
Outstanding.
Where you had to basically fight 100 enemies, and every time you took down one, another one would come in. And so you had to get pretty good at, like, the entire system for, like, counter-attacking and, like, felling enemies in, like, one stroke.
Yep, because otherwise you would just get taken down with chip damage eventually. That was where it always hit me. Like there was one particular area in Way of the Samurai 1, which is, I presume, where that sort of tradition started, where it was like some rice paddies or something that was just outside of the village that you were messing with, and if you knocked over a couple of the guards or people there, you would just get infinite spawns until they eventually took you down. And I remember whiling away like many a Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon while I was in college, because Tuesdays and Wednesdays were always like the nights that I really needed to blow off steam, but it was the middle of the week, so it wasn't okay to go out drinking or whatever. And I would just stand there for like 2 hours and do nothing but murder people until combat fatigue finally took me down, and I had no regrets afterward.
やはり残らず事切れている。
下手人が潜んでいるかもしれん。慎重に進むぞ。
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure it's absolutely fine.
They saved us some work.
The perpetrator are actually these weird ghost boxes.
Yeah, so somehow one of them got a sword, somehow managed to hold it. Didn't hold it in the mouth, actually held it in one of their little, like, nubs. And just, like, killed a whole bunch of guys.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I'm glad Arya can't pull her sword out.
God, thanks for making that one dumbass scene where she's like constantly turning in circles trying to reach her sword and she can't, and everybody's just looking at her with utmost pity in their eyes.
Except Musashi, who is just overjoyed because it's so
yeah.
adorable.
Musashi thinks it's the funniest thing she's ever seen in her life, and she's right.
To be fair, she also starts that duel with "Thanks for the meal," and Saber's like, "What did you just say?" I love that bitch. She just fucking just says thanks for the meal, and itadakimasu, or however they say it, and just like fucking Saber's just like what? It's good times.
And she was still correct. She was still absolutely correct to start it like that. It was a feast of hilarity.
There's like I mentioned there's also like a later thing as well where like they go to a region where it's like sort of famous for its shellfish, and so they get out little rakes to see if they can't, like Musashi and Saber get out some little rakes to see if they can't find any, and Rogue Lancer just turns up and goes, "Oh yeah, that looks like fun." And you know how he does that thing where he like digs the spear into the ground and just throws rocks away? He just starts doing that.
Oh my god.
Musashi and Saber just kind of like looking at him like, "This is motherfucking serious."
The only way that could be sillier is if he somehow came up with crawdads or something like that.
That entire, I was so glad that I like stayed up to watch that entire thing. Like, I'm not really a New Year's celebration kind of person anymore, but so I don't really do the parties or anything.
I'm with you on that. Like that entire thing. Even when I was in like my early 20s, I was just sort of like, if I want to get drunk as hell, I'm just gonna get drunk as hell. I don't need an excuse to get drunk as hell. I can't face my lord like this. All right, well, at least we got to the bottom of who's mind controlling this set of idiots.
But yeah, see, this is the first real hint that things are not quite as they might have expected.
この気配は
悪鬼の傀儡未だ残っていたか
はぐれのセイバーそうか武者というのは貴殿か
剣士よ共に八つ腹を滅参
I always love to see Rogue Saber around. And now he joins us. Always a good opportunity to play around with our big giant fire crashing guy. Explodes everyone. So yes, the warrior that the enemy the crazed samurai were chasing is Rogue Saber.
Oh ho! Yep. All right then.
And all those dead bodies were for Rogue Saber. They were just waiting their turn. But yes, it's the unusualness of it all is that the Onmyoji that we've been tussling with by themselves, and who seem to be related in some ways to that caster. Yeah, they're here now as well. But as Iori said, that doesn't really tie into the people that Shosetsu has been teaming with.
No, like there's a number of things that don't add up about this particular Onmyoji, right? Like first of all, he's not flying the colors. Second of all, he's operating outside of Shosetsu's usual goal set. Like this entire area is not actually part of Shosetsu's territory, and it's kind of just ancillary to the Grail War conflict so far. So it's just like there's a number of things that simply don't sit right.
痛み入るいや敵を同じくするならば共闘も必要である
ありがたいだがかような場所では貴殿
心遣いは無用我が霊気
So here's the first real sort of indicator. Like you had initially thought that Koshikawa was where Rogue Saber operated out of, but that's not true at all because Rogue Saber is not bound by the ley lines.
He's bound by some sort of Gaius instead, huh? Okay.
Yeah, there is a thing. It's not yet time to talk about it, but there is a thing that would explain why he's able to do this. I'm going to wait until it becomes much more relevant to talk about it.
Sure. I kind of feel like I get the gist of it already, and I already said it. It's just you can draw power from your conviction rather than just simply the land.
Yeah, there's actually even more to it than that. Like
right.
一つ問うはぐれのセーバー君の狙いは悪鬼というが九段の悪鬼とやらライダーのことでそういないない
かにもしかり
Aha! Astute question.
ライダー霊気で限界せし者あれは世にのさばらせてはならぬ存在である
ライダーの正体を知っているのか
Can you tell us? Ah, okay.
Yeah. So, Ryder asked the very important question, do I know you? Well, they don't know each other.
Not directly, per se.
But Rogue Saber knows that his purpose upon arriving here is to do that. Is to fight the ogre.
Holy evil being.
悪鬼は切らねばならない。
言っていることはわかる。私も
Yes, please kill my enemy for me. It would be fantastic.
Right. I mean, you kind of have to, eventually.
俺たちは分け合ってランサーを追っている。
秋の友柄か。
その言いようは確信があると見た。
Yeah, this was something that Iori and Saber did not know.
Yeah, that's the first hard evidence you have of it too.
Yeah, because Iori and Saber never actually ever saw them working together ever.
Right.
Like, they stumbled across Koishikawa trying to get to Shisetsu Yui, but that just seemed like a coincidence that they sort of bumbled into that. And Ryder never appeared.
そこに奴はいるんだな。
しかり。愛すまぬ。
何故謝る？
宣告、ランサーと相まみえた折。
Yeah, Kanagawa is one of the more active and busy ports of the area. They could absolutely be intending to launch Kaya on a ship. And if they get out to blue water, she's gone.
If that is their intention, but there's also the ruins there, which would make it much easier for Chiemon to hide out. He does like his ruins.
貴殿は貴重な情報をくれた。それのみで俺には十分。心より感謝する。急ぐぞ、セイバ
ー。言うまでもないかもしれないが、全てのものであってな。
分かっている。
Yeah, I got that.
ではな。
That was an adorable interaction between the two of them.
Yeah, you would think Rogue Saber, with how he looks and how he acts, would be like way more of just like a complete straight-laced hard ass. But he's actually just like, you know, he's just honorable.
He's kind of a dude. Like he's just really trying to be a good dude.
Yeah. And yeah, now we know where we need to go. We'll be heading off in our next episode for the shit to completely hit the fucking fan. In the most insane way possible. I told you this chapter escalates quickly. We've had our first episode, like, where everything, you know, kicked off with Kaya being kidnapped. And we've now ended this with having, you know, decided on our path, and now we're heading off to try and rescue Kaya, and that's where everything just sort of, like, straight through the fucking ceiling. This is going to be insane. I don't remember if we have any digressions to get in the way on the way over there, but we are getting very close to some absolutely big moments. So until then, I'm Blast Robokai.
And I have been Cool Guy.
We'll see y'all next time.